In this video, we're going to learn how to write some alternate text for various types of graphs and charts that you'll find with math and STEM content. Welcome to the Accessibility Guide channel. My name is Sean Jordison, and let's jump into the ring. And this video is sponsored by DocAccess. The first thing we're going to talk about is alternate text for line graphs. So when writing alternate text for line or function graphs, it's important to give students the same raw details as a sighted person would see. Focus on graph type, axes, and key points, and provide information, not answers. Here is a comprehensive list of the things you should do. Identify the graph type and axes, the XY plane with units if given. State key points, like the line crosses at 2,3 and at 5,9. Describe the features, the intercepts, peaks, valleys, and intersections. Give multiple, for when you have multiple lines, make sure you use colors and labels to describe each of them. Try to give the data points, not the answers. And let's see the alternate text of this particular line graph. So this is some alt text you could write for an exam or something. So a line graph on a coordinate plane, the x-axis runs from 0 to 6, and the y-axis runs from 0 to 10. A straight line is shown passing through the points 2, 3, and 5, 9. Why this works for an exam, we give the graph type and the axes. We identify it as a line graph on XY coordinates with the given range. We give the key points, which a sighted student would be able to estimate directly. And we don't give any answers. The slope is not stated, but the student has the data to calculate it. What about for bar charts or column graphs? Well, when writing alternate text for bar charts or column graphs, share the chart type, axes, and each bar's values. Give the raw data so students can compare and analyze without the answer being stated. Identify the chart type, list the categories with the values, provide data, not conclusions, and for grouped bars, describe each group with values. Colors should only be referenced if it's in the question. And here is an example alternate text we could have for this graphic. A bar chart of exam scores by subject: math 78, science 85, history 90, English 74. This alternate text works for this bar chart because we give the chart type and the axes, we identify it as a bar chart with the categories, and we list the exact values for each bar. And we do not say which subject is highest or lowest. Students must compare that information for themselves. What about alternate text for pie charts? When writing alternate text for pie charts, share the chart type, subject, and each slice's value. Provide the breakdown so students can analyze without giving away which slice is biggest or smallest. So identify the chart type, list each slice with its label, give raw data, not conclusions, avoid colors unless it's referenced in the question, and for complex charts, use a long description or data table. Now in this example, the alternate text will be pie chart of household energy sources: gas 50%, electric 30%, solar 15%, and other 5%. This provides the chart type and subject. A pie chart on energy sources, it gives exact data, the percentages for each category, and there's no answers given. What about for scatter plots? When writing alternate text for scatter plots, describe the data distribution and key features. Give ranges of sample points so students can interpret clusters, gaps, or trends themselves. So identify the chart type, describe overall distribution, mention clusters, gaps, or general trends, provide representative points if exact coordinates are relevant. Do not label the pattern directly. For example, don't say positive correlation. And a good alt text for this particular scatter plot would be scatter plot with 20 data points. The x-axis ranges from 0 to 10, and the y-axis from 10 to 70. Points are spread across the chart with the most concentrated between x equals 4 to 9 and y equals 20 to 50. The overall pattern shows a general upward spread. This matches what a sighted student would see, identifies the chart type and the axes ranges, states the number of points, describes the clusters and spread, and it does mention the upward distribution, but you don't have to include that in your alternate text. What about for diagrams? So when writing alternate text for diagrams, describe the structure, labels, and relationships. Give the raw details so students can interpret the figure without the answer being given. List shapes and dimensions, and try to use neutral terms for identification, like five-sided figure instead of pentagon. Include labeled lengths or angles. In this example, we have a geometry diagram, a closed figure with 5 straight sides. One side is labeled 6 centimeters and one angled is labeled 120 degrees. Alternate text for flowcharts. When writing alternate text for flowcharts, describe the sequence of steps or decisions, give the order and the labels of boxes and arrows, but without extra interpretation. So identify the chart type, list the steps in the sequence, include all labels or boxes and connectors, focus on logic and order, not the visual style. So in this example, the alternate text would be flowchart with 3 boxes, connected by arrows, start, process, and end. Now let's take a look at this video sponsor, DocAccess. If you have a ton of PDFs that you need to make accessible right away, especially with the Title II deadline coming, I highly encourage you to check out DocAccess. Now, because this video is all about math, I'm going to show you how DocAccess can take a PDF and instantly display all of the math in it as accessible MathML. Now, I have a sample document that I've already uploaded into my DocAccess account, and with a single click of a button to accessible transcript view, I now have all of the math that was in that PDF as MathML. I can navigate it using a screen reader, and it is totally accessible right here in the viewer. So here's a brief summary for alternate text. Name the chart diagram, provide the structure and state the axes, provide raw data, not answers, be neutral, factual, and concise, mention key features like points, values, and steps, include all labels and text, and skip colors, styles, unless required, and use longer description for complex visuals. If you want to check out DocAccess for yourself, or if you want to find out how I can help you get accessible, book a meeting with me right now. And as always, I could be your champion for inclusion. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.